Hi, my name is Milan. I work as a pre-sales engineer at Acrobits, and today I'll show you how to build your own voice over IP application in just a few minutes for Android and iOS, for Mac and Windows. Just to give you a little bit of a background, we've been in the business for almost 12 years, and we've been creating voice over IP applications for typically MNOs, MVNOs, voice over IP providers, PBX admins, pretty much anyone with their own existing SIP infrastructure already in place. And today I'll show you the application part. This is the management portal. This is where you create and manage your application or applications. You can have as many as you want, and today I'll show you how simple it is to build application on this platform. So in here I'll select the white label bundle because it allows me to show you all the features. We'll go over all the features briefly one by one. Then I'll show you how to connect the application with a SIP infrastructure, tell you a bit more about the publishing process to Google Play and App Store. We'll have a look at creating the design for the application, which is probably the most important part of the whole white labeling process. And at the end I'll show you how to test the application. All our applications can be tested for free and for as long as you need. Before we have a look at the features, I want you to see the final results. So let's go over here, and this is one of more than 500 white labels created by our customers on the Cloud Softphone platform. And when you get a white label from us, it looks a bit like this. When it's published to Google Play or App Store, you'll be able to name it. You have your logo here, your own screenshots, description, and what's probably the most important is that your company would be listed here as the actual developer. So it's a pure white label in the sense that there is no link to our company. It's going to look like your own development. In addition to that, I need to mention two very important things. The first one is that we don't use any open source and we don't outsource anything. This means that we have complete control over the source code. Every single line of the application was written by us in-house, and if Google or Apple decide to make some changes in their operating systems, we can and we do react to these changes immediately. In other words, we will take care of all the updates for you. We normally do 7 to 10 updates a year and just make sure that the application always works for you. So that's the first thing, and the second is time to market. Today I'll show you that the basic configuration can be done in just a few minutes, and then it depends on you and how quickly you manage to create the design for the application, how much time you want to spend testing. But when all this is done, we're able to publish the application to Google Play in less than 24 hours, and it takes us on average couple of days to have the application published to the App Store. Okay, so let's have a look at the features. Let's go back here and select the white label. This thing here is an Android emulator. It emulates an Android phone, and I like to use it for demos because it works perfectly, or our applications work perfectly on this. And as we go over the features, I can show you some of them on an actual application. I have several of them here, so yeah. Let's have a look at the features now. As I said before, everything can be tested for free. At some point you may want to actually build your own APK and IPA binaries and test your own white label before you actually make a decision to get production builds and publish it to stores. We introduce full service because we realize that most of our customers have no idea how to publish an application to Google Play and App Store, so we put together our own publishing team. They can do it for you. We synchronize contacts between your phone and the application by default. So if I go here, you'll see these people are on my actual phone. There's many other ways to synchronize contacts. We'll have a look at those a bit later. Incoming calls via push allows you to receive incoming calls even when the application is closed. This was specifically designed to save the battery of the device. So you can completely kill the process of the application, but you'll still be able to receive incoming calls. There's a bit more in the technical documentation on this. Designs. You can design the application yourselves if you want to, or you can let us do it for you. If you want us to do the design for you, there's a link to a document, and this document tells you what we need from your side in order to come up with a professional looking design. We tell you a bit more about the scope of what we can do for you. We need your colors, we need your logo, or we can create a logo from scratch, and we need some text for the about page, so we can create an about page like this one, a few sentences about the company or the application. For some of the features, a server infrastructure is needed. You can either use our servers or your own. With the basic application, you can do incoming and outgoing calls. There's some basic call control like hold, call recording, call forwarding, and these sort of things. On top of that, we've developed some extra features. Attended and unattended transfers and conferencing. There's a bunch of different ways to synchronize contacts. So if I go over here and go to contacts, you see that I have two containers with contacts, my phone book and my company contacts. So you can synchronize contacts using CardDAV, web services, or Office 365. In other words, you can have multiple containers with contacts, and each can contain different contacts from different sources. Custom type web view is a very important feature because it allows you to add value into the application. So all these apps, they look pretty much the same. There's keypad, contacts, messaging, history, quick dial. But if you look here, it's a custom type web view, and you can display any web-based content you want. If we go back to this application, it's one of my prepaid customers. These guys, they created a menu that follows the design of the rest of the application, so you don't feel like you're looking at a website. It looks like a native part of the application. And in here, they created a few buttons. This one's probably the most important one. This is how they make money. They allow their end users to buy different bundles from different regions of the world, and they connect them directly to their own payment gateway. Fine, what else do we have here? These guys, they can sell you a data SIM card, so you enter your credentials in here, they'll ship it to you. You can buy additional DIDs for your SIP account. There's visual voicemail, so you can see all the calls you made in the past and listen to all the recordings. Possibilities are endless. Whatever you can think of and can create a web interface for, you can put it in here. Very important feature. There's also a way to identify people that are trying to access this page, so you can show different content to different people. Voicemail and video calls are supported. SRTP over TLS, callback and call through for calling card businesses or anyone who uses access numbers still. For prepaid businesses, there is balance checker. You can see balance over here. I have €0 in this account. This provider, they also show it over here in the up left corner. Rate checker. So the balance checker shows you how much money you have in your account. The rate checker shows you how much you pay if you call to a certain number. So when you dial a number, it shows here in the up right corner, it shows me that I would pay 5 cents per minute if I call this destination. Very simple APIs. Push token reporter. This allows you to send push notifications to your customers. It's perfect for advertising, marketing, broadcasting, or conveying any sort of message to your customers. Like if you look at my phone over here, I have a push notification from Gmail. You can be those who send these push notifications to people using this feature. Unlimited subdomains means that you can use one single application with multiple servers. Custom account forms allow you to tweak the application. There's in-app analytics, so you can collect statistics about how your customers use the app. Rich messaging is sending files, pictures, videos, documents, any files. Location reporting is a new feature of ours. We created a custom SIB header that's called xLocation, which allows you to send GPS coordinates in the SIB traffic. You can use it for whatever you want. We will tell you where the user is when they register with a SIP account, when they make or receive call. It can be used with push token reporter for location-based advertising. For example, there are many other uses for this. SMS and instant messaging. In here we support two methods: instant messaging over SIP Simple and off-net messaging using SMS. ZRTP, we have our own implementation of ZRTP with 256-bit encryption and Diffie-Hellman key code exchange. If you go online, you'll find articles like this one where people compare different ZRTP implementations in different clients, and we always come on top in terms of how secure the implementation is. So if you have customers that value information, ZRTP is the way to go. Now we're getting to smart contacts. I can show you what it is. So if I click here, you see one-net contacts. This tells me who in my contacts is using the same application as I do, so I know that I can call them and I can text them for free. So it's a little bit like Viber and WhatsApp. If you go to Viber or WhatsApp, they also show you who in your contacts is using Viber and WhatsApp, so you know you can contact them for free. They are your on-net contacts. We call it smart contacts. And now we get into provisioning. I'll keep it very simple and show you the provisioning methods. Where did I put that? Over here. Okay, so by provisioning I mean the initial provisioning. Your users will go to Google Play or App Store, they will download the application, install and open it for the first time. Now the app needs to be configured somehow. It can be done manually by entering credentials. It can be done using a QR code. So a user would take a phone, scan the QR code you send them, and the application automatically provision. It's completely foolproof method. All they need to do is push one button and that's it. They can't mess it up. Very similar with Magic Link. You send them a Magic Link via email, they go to their email, open it, push one button and the application opens and automatically provisions. The SMS wizard is fairly straightforward. I'm going to reset this application to default so I can show it to you. Okay, here we go. So you download the application from store, install it, open for the first time. It auto detects your phone number. You click on validate. You receive a PIN code via SMS. I just got it. This is an Android emulator. On your phone you actually don't have to do it manually. It's entered automatically, so again you cannot make a mistake. And the WebView wizard is the last method. And I have a very nice example over here. This is one of my Vietnamese customers, and the WebView wizard allows you to put a website on the initial screen of the app. So this is what they show you. They let you swipe the screen. At some point you may want to get started. You end up a login screen. You enter your credentials if you are an existing customer, and then log in, and you end up on a keypad. If you are a new customer, you sign in or sign up, go through the registration, and when you press OK, the application provisions and you end up on a keypad and you can start using the app. So this provisioning method is a combination of a website and the Magic Link. Fairly straightforward. The last feature on this page is called the External Provisioning API. Is mainly used for two things. Per user configuration. Every single user can be set up differently. There's like a list of 100 different parameters that can be specific to each user. So each user can use different server, video, audio codecs, DTMF methods. Yeah, there's many parameters that can be defined for every single user. And it also allows you to hide the real SIP credentials from your customers, which helps preventing frauds. So these are the features. Let's have a look at the second step of the configuration. I'll go over the second step only very briefly because these are minor settings. This is where you connect the application with your backend and so on. So let's go over this quickly. Name of the service will be shown over here where you can see Buoyant D. This is where you define your SIP domain. You can select transport protocol you prefer or support. We support CallKit on iOS. There's BLF support as well for simple presence. You can integrate with the native dialer on Android. Push is the only method that makes sense for incoming calls. You can define the voicemail number. This one's actually very important, legal. You can enter any URL in here, and when your customers open the application for the very first time, it's going to be shown in the app, and they would need to agree to your terms and conditions to be able to actually use the application. In here you can create links that will be in settings, opening certain websites. What else is important? Languages. We have customers in more than 100 countries, so we support many languages. There's more than 30 now, and by default the app uses the system language. If you want to change the language, you can do so in preferences over here manually. If you want to introduce a new language that is not on the list, we can send you English strings, you can translate it, and we'll put it into the next update. This is how most of the languages made it here. Dial actions, this is fairly important. So in here you define what happens when you push the dial button, either shortly or if you hold the button a bit longer. So you can assign different dial actions to it. You can have a SIP call, for example, on a short press, and you can have a video call on a long press of the button. You can also have a secondary button with different dial actions mapped to it. This is also where you define, well, you can have your customers rate the application after a certain number of successful calls. This is where you define what tabs you show up here. You can enable them, disable, and change their position also, like this. You can pick the initial tab. This is where you define the custom tab with WebView over here. What else is important? Audio and video codecs for Wi-Fi and for WebRTC as well. NAT settings are down here. That's all that is actually fairly important from the second step. Let's have a look at publishing. Publishing application to Google Play, but especially the App Store, it's a fairly complex thing. But as I said before, we have a feature that's called full service, and full service means that we would do the publishing for you. You only need to give us Google and Apple developers accounts credentials so we can get in and publish the application for you. That's why I'll be skipping the third step. There's not much else to it. You only need to give us credentials and we will make sure the application makes it to Google Play and App Store. Customizing a design is a fundamental part of the white labeling process, so we'll have a look at it now. We'll go to the design theme, edit, and we'll have a look at the Android, iPhone. Let's start with the Android. Over here on the left hand side of the screen you can see all the design elements that can be customized. There's more than 100 of them, and all you need to do is go from the top to the bottom and change them all so the application reflects your corporate identity. Or you can click here and anything that is clickable can be changed. All the background pictures, colors, every single icon over here on top, all those keys on the keypad, those buttons down here. We scroll further, we get to the About page. About page is now empty, which is a good thing because it allows me to show you how to actually change something in the design. So if we click on the About image, all we need to do is upload picture from hard drive, and we should get it there very shortly. Yeah, here we go. So this is how simple it is to customize the design of the application. As you can see, there's around 20 different design elements you can customize just in the messaging interface. This is where you change the initial screen of the application. Put your logo up here, make sure it looks good. Make sure application icons are pretty because they'll be on your customers' devices used to run the application. You can even customize the notification icons, these up here. You can customize fonts, splash screen, Google Play submission graphics. So whatever you upload here will be displayed over here. If we go back, screenshots, as you can see there's room for 5 screenshots. Whatever you upload over here will be displayed over here in Google Play and App Store. So yeah, this is how you can customize the design. As I said, it can either be done by yourselves or we can do the professional design for you. It's entirely up to you. You just need to let us know. Let's have a look at the iPhone. It's pretty much the same, but there are more things you can customize for the iPhone because it's easier for us to code for the iOS. They only have a handful of devices, I think only 3 different aspect ratios, so it's much easier to code for iOS than for the Android. Which brings me to an important point. Even the design can be tested for free. So you get access to this management portal, you change the design yourself, and you'll not only be able to see it here, but also on your actual phones. So you'll be able to test it properly before you make any sort of decision. So that's how the design works. Now I'll show you how to test the application. For the sake of simplicity, I'll use manual input. So I simply sign into the application right now. The app contacts the provisioning server and downloads the provisioning profile we created together today. Now we're looking at terms and conditions because this is what we entered into the legal field in the second step. Of course, you'll be able to show your own terms and conditions to your customers, and they would have to click on agree button down here to move any further within the application to actually start using it. So let's do it right now. Let's agree. Now we are in. As you can see, the SIP account is registered, so I can actually start using the application. If I go to contacts, I see that my contacts are synchronized with my phone. I can make calls. I can send messages. I sent some messages to myself before just to show what the messaging interface looks like. As I showed you in the design, it can be completely customized. There is history. You see the call I just made. You can put people or contacts into the quick dial tab, and if there are on-net contacts, you should be able to see their simple presence. In the upper right corner, we can see the custom tab web view with the website we defined in the second step. This is something you can also test. And if we click on the name of the service, we can enable immediate DND. If you go deeper into the settings, there's scheduled DND as well. And just like I was saying before when we were talking about the design, if you go to settings and go to the about page, this is the simple change we made in the design. So the idea is for you to test the application as much as you want, play with it as much as you want. There is nothing you can break. If you have any questions, let us know and we'll help you out. I sincerely hope that this short video helped you understand how simple it is for you to provide your customers with a fully branded Softphone for Android, iOS and desktops. If you'd like to know more about our companies, you can always go to acrobase.net to find out what we do and how we do things. Particularly interesting is the use cases section over here, where you can see real life, real world examples of our solutions being used in different fields. For example, healthcare, we have solutions for resellers. We have customers in hospitality business, in secure communications. We've done some nice projects with governmental bodies and organizations, banks, military, financial institutions, lawyers. For example, European Parliament is using our high security white label for their internal communication. So yeah, if you like to know more about our solutions, you can contact me directly or anybody from our team, and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you for your time and have a great day.